Channel. So this is the lecture number 4 of company audit in English. Before this lecture, I've uploaded 4 lectures in Hindi and 3 lectures in English. So you can just check the playlist section, and I've already given the links in the description box. So you can just go and check the description box. You will find the link for the playlist of CA Inter audit lectures, and there you can find my videos. Okay, so starting with the topic filling of a casual vacancy. In the last part, that means your lecture number 3, we have covered till here. Now we have to start with the topic filling of casual vacancy. First of all, let me tell you that what is casual vacancy. Casual vacancy is that situation where the seat of the auditor, okay, the seat of the auditor is vacant, or that is empty, because the auditor may resign, the auditor may expire, that means he may die, or he may attract any disqualification. We have already discussed the eligibility criteria, qualifications and disqualifications, right? So what happens is if after his appointment the auditor attracts any disqualification, then he will have to vacate his seat because he has met the disqualification. So that situation will also be termed as casual vacancy. We have already discussed this point, if you remember. Wait, let me show you. Where was it? Yeah, this. In this case study, because after his appointment, his partner was a manager finance of Lakshman Limited, and in this case, Mr. A had to vacate his seat because he met a disqualification after his appointment, and so he had to vacate his office. So this situation will also be termed as casual vacancy. So I hope you are now familiar with the term casual vacancy. What is casual vacancy? That is a situation where the seat of the auditor is vacated. Okay, now because your auditor is gone, you have to place any other person on that seat of the auditor. So how you will fill it? Now there are two cases. One is your government company, and one is your other company, that means your non-government company. Now just focus on the language they have put. In the case of company other than a company whose accounts are subject to audit by an auditor. See, here it is written other than a company whose accounts are subject to audit by an auditor appointed by C&AG. Now, wherever you will find the word C&AG, it will in most of the cases it will be related to government company. Okay, so whenever you are reading the term C&AG, that means your comptroller and auditor general of India, just recall that it is related to a government company. Okay, so they are saying that a company other than a company in which the auditor is to be appointed by the comptroller and auditor general. That means who in which type of company does the comptroller and auditor general appoint the auditor? In a government company, and here they are talking about other than that company in which the auditor is appointed by C&AG. So here they are referring to a non-government company, right? So if it is a situation of a non-government company, then in that case the casual vacancy will be filled by BOD, that means your board of directors, within 30 days. Okay, if such casual vacancy is as a result of resignation of an auditor, such appointment shall also be approved by the company at the general meeting convened within 3 months of the recommendation of the board, and he shall hold the office till the conclusion of the next AGM. Now they are saying that in general cases, the BOD has to appoint the auditor within 30 days. That means he has to fill the vacancy within 30 days. But if the situation is that the casual vacancy is due to the reason that is your resignation. So if it is a situation of resignation, then after the recommendation of board of directors, after the board of director recommends, from the date the BOD recommends, so from that date within 3 months, within 3 months, a general meeting is to be conducted, and all the members present in the general meeting have to give an approval to that recommendation. And if they are approving it, then that auditor shall hold the meeting till the conclusion of the next AGM. Okay, so in the case of resignation, they have put one additional condition, that is you have to approve. The recommendation of board of directors is to be approved in a general meeting. Okay, now there comes another situation if it is a government company. That means in a case of company whose accounts are subject to audit by an auditor appointed by Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So in this case, who will appoint the auditor? In this case, the casual vacancy will be filled by C&AG again within 30 days. See children, here there are a lot of, in this chapter specifically, there are a lot of terms, specifically the number of days. So what you can do is you can just mark L on the top of the page, so that, and you can also put one sticky note that what are the limits, so that on the 1.5 day of leave of audit, what you have to revise this whole chapter in, you have to revise the whole syllabus in 1.5 day, right? So before going to the exam, before the exam starts, half an hour before the exam starts, you can just revise all the number of days, you can revise all the limits. So in that case, it will be easy for you to recall them, because in MCQs they often ask that what are the number of days, what are the number of what is the penalty, what is the limit of fine. So all these things are asked specifically in MCQ, so that is why you should learn them. Okay, so here it is 30 BOD also 30, and Comptroller and Auditor General also 30. And in case of resignation, they are saying that it is to be approved by the members within 3 months of the recommendation. So they are saying that if it is a government company, then the Comptroller and Auditor General should appoint the auditor. That means he should fill the vacancy within 60 days. And it may be noted that if he fails, if Comptroller and Auditor General does not fill the vacancy within 30 days, then the board of directors shall fill the vacancy within next 30 days. Okay, so here we have discussed 30 days and 3 months, and here we are discussing 30 and 30. Okay, I hope this topic is clear to you. Again, they have made a very beautiful flow chart, and here they have just summarized the whole topic. Filling of casual vacancy, other company, government company. If it is a government company, then it is to be filled by C&AG within 30 days, BOD within, and if they fill, then BOD within 30 days. If it is a non-government company, then it is to be filled by BOD within 30 days. And if it is a case of resignation, then that appointment should also be approved by the AGM, that means the members. Okay. Now again, here we are talking about the filling of casual vacancy. That means we are talking about the duties of the BOD or the C&AG. Now in this topic, we are going to discuss about the responsibilities of an auditor. So if it is a casual vacancy of by resignation, so that means that the auditor has resigned willfully, and he has made the casual vacancy willfully. So therefore he has some responsibilities which he should fulfill. So they are saying that as per section number 140 subsection 2 of the Act, the auditor who has resigned from the company shall file within a period of 30 days from the date of resignation a statement in the prescribed form ADT3 with the company and the registrar. Now they are saying that after he has resigned, that I am not going to be the auditor of this company. Mr. A is the auditor. Okay, wait, I'm just drawing it. Mr. Ray is the auditor, and he has decided that now he will take resignation. He doesn't want to remain the auditor of that company. So what he should do is, within a period of 30 days, after he has resigned, within a period of 30 days from the date of resignation, he should file a statement in form number ADT3. Okay, ADT3, he should file a statement in prescribed form ADT3 with the company and the registrar. Okay, and if it is a case of government company, then with C&AG also. And what will be written in this statement? He should indicate all the reasons and other facts as may be relevant to with regards to his resignation. That means he has to give a statement justifying his resignation. In which form? In form number 83 within 30 days. Again, here it is 30 days. Okay. And if it is a case of government company, then one additional person is also there, C&AG. And if it is a non-government company, then with the company registrar. Government company, company registrar, and a comptroller and auditor general. Okay. So this is what are the responsibilities of the auditor. Now they are saying that if the auditor does not file this statement 83 in form number 83, in case of failure, the auditor shall be liable to a penalty of 50,000 or remuneration whichever is less. So now this penalty is also divided into two parts. First of all, they are saying that in case he fails to fulfill his responsibility now, so what he should do is he should be charged with a penalty of 50,000 or remuneration whichever is less. Now suppose his remuneration is 45,000 and they are saying whichever is less, so his penalty will be 45,000. And on the other case, if his remuneration is rupees 60,000, then what will be his penalty? His penalty will be 50,000 because remuneration or 50,000 whichever is less. So this was your first part in case of failure. And they are saying that if after this penalty also the failure continues, in case of continuing failure, he should be charged with a further penalty of 500 rupees each day. Okay, 500 rupees each day, and which should subject to a maximum of 5 lakh rupees. That means in case of continuing failure, the means the auditor shall be charged with rupees 500 per day subjected to a maximum of rupees 5 lakh. Okay, so this can be the penalty of the auditor subject to maximum of 5 lakh rupees. So in case of continuing failure, he can be charged with a further penalty of rupees 5 lakh. His penalty may extend to rupees 5 lakh with rupees 500 each day. I hope that this is clear. If the second part is not clear, let me make you clear. See, this was your first part, that if he fails, he shall be charged with the penalty of 50,000 or remuneration, whichever is less. Okay. Now, after giving this penalty also, he is not fulfilling his responsibility. So, what will be the another aspect of the penalty is that he shall be charged. He shall be charged with rupees 500 per day. Okay. Like suppose continuing failure has started and day 1 is passed, day 2 has passed, day 3 has passed, again he has not fulfilled his responsibility. So 500, 500, 500, 500. So in this way, his penalty can be extended to a maximum of rupees 5 lakh. That means for 10 days. Okay. No, not for 10 days. It is rupees 5 lakh. That means for 1000 days more. So rupees 500 per day. So that means he can be charged to a further penalty subjecting to a maximum of 5 lakh. That means he can be further charged for 1000 days. Okay. Fine. Now this topic will be more clear to you after reading this case study. So in this case study, they are saying C.A. Donald was appointed as the auditor of PS Limited at the remuneration of 30,000. Okay. However, after 4 months of continuing his services, he could not continue to hold the office as his wife got a government job at distant place and he needs to shift along with her to the new place. Thus, he need to resign from the company and did not perform his responsibilities relating to filing of statement. Now they are saying that he has not performed his responsibilities in spite of resigning from the post of the auditor, and the registrar indicating the reasons. So they are asking you that how much fine may be punishable. So the first part of the penalty says 50,000 or remuneration whichever is less. That means he can be charged with a penalty of rupees 30,000, and this can be extended to 5 lakh in case of continuing failure. So you should mention this point and you should write the conclusion that he shall not be less than 30,000, which may extend to rupees 5 lakh in case of continuous failure. Okay. Also remember students that if it is a case study, you have to divide your answer into 3 parts. First part will be the facts of the case. Second part will be the provision applicable. That means the provision that is applicable to that particular fact. and then you have to conclude your answer. Okay, so in this way you have to write your case study. Now, other important provisions regarding appointment of auditors. So there are some more provisions regarding appointment of auditor. A retiring auditor may be reappointed at an AGM if, now they are saying that can a auditor who has retired, okay, can he be reappointed, or once retired can never be reappointed. So there are some provisions according to which he can be appointed or not appointed. Okay, so they are saying that he may be reappointed, but he should comply with the following conditions. He should not be disqualified for reappointment. He should not give any notice regarding his unwillingness that I am not going to be the auditor, I don't want to be the auditor. So he should not give any such notice regarding his unwillingness. Also, a special resolution has not been passed at that meeting appointing some other auditor or providing expressly that he should not be reappointed. A special resolution, you all have studied in law that what is a special resolution? That means majority are agreeing to any specific decision. So if a special resolution has been passed that this person should not be appointed as an auditor, so if this is the case, that person can never be reappointed as auditor. So a special resolution has not been passed at that meeting appointing some other auditor providing expressively that he shall not be reappointed, or a special resolution has not been passed appointing some other auditor. Okay, so if these are the cases, then a retiring auditor may be reappointed and else not. Okay, now where at any AGM no auditor is appointed or reappointed, the existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. So where there is no appointment or reappointment, the existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company, but ceiling limit provisions will be applicable here also. Okay, so I hope that this topic is clear to you all, and I'll not extend the explanation more because the rotation of auditor is a separate topic and I will cover it in a separate video. So I'm ending this video here. If you have any doubts, any query, then please feel free to comment down. I'll definitely reply you. And now I will upload the videos regularly, so you can just subscribe to this channel to receive updates and notifications whenever I upload a new video. And if you are really getting benefited out of my videos, then please do share and please do press the like button, as it gives me motivation. Also, please give me your feedback through the comment section so that I can know what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. I hope my initiative will help you all. So just stay tuned with me, and ending this video here, and thank you so much.